over the weekend, what the news media was calling yet another assassination attempt on Donald Trump happened while he was at his golf course at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
And apparently some lunatic was hanging out by the golf course for about 12 hours from what I heard.
That's what they say.
And he had he had a AR or a AR-47 or whatever kind of gun. Listen, don't come at me because I don't know my guns. I don't really
AR.
Yeah, I know. I love that line that, because people, when they first said AR and people said it was automatic rifle and that's not what it stood for, and people laughed like, oh my gosh, you shouldn't be talking about children's heads getting blown off by these weapons because you don't even know what AR stands for, is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But that was a line that I heard many times. But
really?
Oh, you've never heard that?
No, I don't even. So what does
I'm
it stand
surprised
for?
with you being on Twitter. I mean, that
I
was
know I don't pay attention to a lot of those things, but
you
is
probably
it?
shouldn't. No, that was the big argument that, you would talk about AR-15s and people would say, what does AR stand for? And a lot of people would just assume, and they answered the question, automatic rifle. And then you got the ha, ha, ha. That's not what it stands for. You should not be talking about this. And then it led off the actual subject of children's heads getting blown off by these weapons because you didn't understand what AR stood for. So it's stupid, Lana. It's just,
so what
in fact, this whole show is about to be fucking stupid. But what were you going to say?
What does it stand for if it doesn't stand?
No, I don't fucking know. I still don't know because I don't care. It doesn't matter what it stands for.
Yeah,
whatever
it's assault weapons, right? Like I don't care what it's an assault weapon. That's just what I call.
That's exactly what it is. If somebody in the comments knows what it stands for and you want to educate us, that's fine. I'm happy to be educated on it, but it still doesn't sway my opinion of the weapon, whether or not I know what AR stands for or I don't. Lana,
exactly. We know what it does.
Right. So I think it is it's pretty universal here that nobody wants to see anybody shot and killed due to political violence, due to anything. I mean, it really, this is just something that we don't want to see. It is not something that I am rooting for. Democrats are rooting for. Lana and I had this conversation yesterday. She's not rooting for this. In fact,
speak for yourself.
What's that?
Speak for yourself.
You want to see it?
Oh, well, not with everyone.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, we don't want to see we don't want to see Donald Trump. I think it would be way more pleasurable to see Donald Trump being defeated handily at the polls rather than being shot and killed. But listen.
When it comes to Donald Trump, I just don't have any thoughts here nor there because he's that disgusting. He is that gross. I'm not going to sit here and do that thing that I heard people on TV do where they're like, thank God nothing happened, knowing that they fucking hate the guy. Like, I can't sit here and be like, I'm so happy nothing. I'm not, because he's literally saying things that can get children killed and he doesn't care. So why would I care one iota if something happens to that ghoulish animal? I don't care. I'm not going to say, unfortunately, no, fuck that man. Like, fuck that dude. Violence begets violence, right? Like, it's coming from his rhetoric. It's almost like, when they were mad at Malcolm X for saying the chickens come home to roost. That's what the fuck is happening right now. Me and DA, sorry, had this conversation just yesterday after you. And we were talking about how he can't control his own base. Look at when he said he got the vaccine and told people to wear masks to get the vaccine, and they booed him almost off the stage because he's messing with fire and he thinks that they would never harm him. And let him say something that is like not to the right or not radical enough for see him backtrack, and they're going to get pissed and he can't control them, and that's what is happening. But I digress.
Listen, and you digress well, because listen, what you just said, there is a, certainly a modicum of truth to that. I mean, if Donald Trump were shot and killed, it's not like we're all going to do the thing where we go, well, let's remember the good things about Donald Trump. We're definitely not going to do that. I mean, it's just not going to do, because I actually thought about that too, Lana, and I thought about it in the sense that if we heard Vladimir Putin was shot and killed, would we go, oh, you know what, let's reflect back on, the good of Vladimir Putin? And yeah, I absolutely would compare a Donald Trump to a Vladimir Putin.
Yes.
So, I get what you're saying. And when I say I don't want to see anybody shot and killed, I say that in the respect of, because if it could happen to Donald Trump, it could happen to anybody. And then that way we're just kind of opening up the door to this wild, wild west of whoever the president is, shoot and kill him. Because here's the thing. And anybody listening to Lana and I saying what we're saying right now about Donald Trump, and if you're getting angry and pissed off, if you're going to sit here and try to convince me that if Barack Obama was shot and killed, that you would be like, oh my God, this is just a bridge too far for us. I heard a lot of you people when it came to Barack Obama. I heard a lot of people when it came to Joe Biden. And I hear a lot of you people when it comes to Kamala Harris. So if we're really speaking truth, I think there are a lot of people in this world that would celebrate, whether it be outwardly, and there's definitely people who would celebrate it outwardly or inwardly, that a political opponent got shot and killed. If you're trying to tell me that that is not something that, and maybe not celebrating is, some people definitely would celebrate. But would they be upset? Would they reflect? Would they, there would be a certain sort of reflection. Basically, what I was just talking about is this where we want to be as a country? But Lana's right. This is what Donald Trump has brought to the political atmosphere. This outrageous, and I'm glad you said this because it kind of leads me into what we're going to talk about on this particular subject, is this gaslighting by these assholes who are going to sit here and try to tell us that the reason why this is happening is because of the rhetoric from the left. Now, again, I brought this up before. You guys can do this gaslighting thing all you want to, but you're doing it to each other. You're not doing it to people like us. We're not fucking idiots. If you really think we're going to sit back and go, maybe we should tone down the rhetoric, what are you fucking out of your fucking minds? Have you heard Donald Trump, JD Vance? Have you? I mean, I can go on. First of all, I can list 100 people that talk this absolute nonsense, and they're going to say that we need to tone it down. Lana, I want to play a clip of JD Vance.
Shirt on.
Huh?
You have a Harris shirt on.
Yeah, my Harris Wall shirt.
Yay, that's so cool. I want to have.
Yeah, you're damn right. So I am I'm into the spirit. I definitely am, because this isn't a thing, because people, you hear them saying, Lana, huh?
No, I said keep talking.
I was gonna say, you hear them saying is like, oh, the only reason why. There we go. See, we're in the spirit of things. I got my yard sign too, by the way. I ain't fucking scared. But what I was saying, do you have something to say? Because I want to play this clip of JD Vance.
So just a clip. Can I just clarify real quick?
Yeah, 100%.
So when I talk about Donald Trump, that's just him as a person. I would feel not good if even Marjorie Taylor Greene,
right,
George Bush, like any Mitt Romney, like that would make me feel like, wow, I would feel bad about that. So it's not a political thing with us, I'm sure you too. And with most people, it's not about like, Republicans wish they were dead. No, that's not. It's that monster that we don't care about. So I just wanted to clarify.
It's the monster and what he has created
Yes.
beyond just him,
Yes.
because he has got an army of people that are just horrific and
Right.
awful, terrible, terrible people. And that's what I said. I mean, I personally would really love to see him get defeated badly in November, which I really truly think he's going to get beat worse than people think he's going to get beat. And when he does, what he's going to have to go through after that. Now, is it going to cause more strife and more craziness in this country? It definitely is, but it is one of those things that, it's kind of like avoiding going to a doctor for a major procedure. The quicker you get it done, the quicker this ends. And, will it end forever? Who knows? But this is a good step. But anyway, talking about the rhetoric, and there's one too many JD Vance clips that I'm going to be playing on the show tonight that, I really rather not. But this is JD Vance at one of his rallies, and he's talking about what needs to happen from this point on.
Talk a little bit about public policy, but before I do that, I want to just address the elephant in the room here, which is, of course, just a couple of days ago, my running mate, my dear friend and our next president, was nearly assassinated again. 2 assassination attempts in as many months, and I think that it's time to say to the Democrats, to the media, to everybody that has been attacking this man and trying to censor this man for going on 10 years, cut it out or you're going to get somebody killed.
Yay, JD. Yeah, so that's going to be their line now. And especially, too, when it has come out that, first of all, the first one was a registered Republican and a Trump supporter. And then this guy, I mean, we're not going to sit here and try to pretend that he was some kind of left-wing nutbag, although I've heard people try to say that, because originally he was a Trump supporter. He was disenfranchised with Donald Trump. I guess he voted for Joe Biden in 2020, but now he was clamoring for a Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley ticket just a few months ago, not that long ago. This guy's been all over the place, not to mention he has a gigantic criminal record, and he, from all accounts, has severe mental issues.
Right.
So this is not some radical left-wing person that is trying to assassinate Donald Trump.
How is he voting with this long record anyway?
I don't know that he is, to be honest with you. I think, maybe
looking at his registration. What?
Yeah, maybe he was able to in 16, but I don't know what happened subsequent to that. So, or maybe, I don't know. I'll be honest with you, Alana. I really don't know. But, the bottom line is that, again, this is their line, and it's going to work with the people in that crowd. But will it work beyond that? And I don't think it will.
No. How? It's ridiculous. Like, no one's stupid. We acting like we don't hear Trump. Like, MAGA are the only ones that act like they don't hear what he says when he makes fun of Paul Pelosi, like tweets out Nancy Pelosi in like crosshairs. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Executing General Milley, like, wants to execute General Milley.
I have accused the American public of being politically lazy many times, and I still think that in some respects that they are. I don't think that they follow it as much as they should. However, when they do get involved and they do start to follow it, Donald Trump's been around for, I mean, just as a figure for 30 plus years. He's been around as a political figure for at least 9 years. And everything he has said and everything he has done in 9 years is not going to be erased out of the brains of the American people. Right. So anybody that thinks that within the next, by the way, 7 weeks from today, that if he thinks he's going to erase what he has done over 9 years in the next 7 weeks, I think he's going to have a difficult time resolving that.
Yeah, he is.
But Scott Jennings, by the way, ran into Ellie Mistel on CNN, and Scott Jennings also tried to gaslight the American people on CNN and let everybody know that it is the Democrats' fault, and it is the rhetoric of the Democrats talking all this.
They can't even say anything other than saying they say he's a threat to democracy. It's like, that's literally a fact. That's not angry rhetoric. Like, who says that when they want to get someone hurt? Threat to democracy. Like, excuse me.
Again, and I think, Lana, the problem for them is that for years they have aligned themselves with a group of voters who not only are going to believe every word, but they're going to, I've used this term a million times. If you've ever seen The Wizard of Oz, the Wicked Witch had flying monkeys that did her bidding for her. And, she was able to control their minds and everything that they did. And their flying monkeys are not going anywhere. But the problem is, I don't know how many more flying monkeys they're adding. In fact, they've lost some flying monkeys, and I don't know how much further they think they're going to go with it. But here's Scott Jennings, and then Ellie Mistel responds.
This kind of language about somebody be the underpinning of a campaign for years and intensely for the last several months. The only way to unwind it is for the people who've been saying it, chiefly the president and the vice president, to go on TV and say, you know what? We went too far, and what we said, honestly, is not true. The country will not end.
Okay, your turn. I think the Democrats will tamp down their language about Trump. The moment Trump tamps down his language about the Democrats, about immigrants, about people of color, about women, and not a moment before.
What about how many times are we going to shoot at him?
Is your argument literally that you
for the last several months?
Oh, sorry. How many times are they going to shoot at him? He says. Damn it, I messed that up. So, but anyway, you got the point.
I just wish that Ellie didn't say, Democrats will tamp down when Trump does.
Yeah.
No, don't say that. We're not tit for tat. This is not even. The Democrats have never use threatening language against Trump. Are we joking right now? Stop playing. They can't even show an example. When he said that, you should say, tell me what are they saying? Because we can right now be like that with Trump and the rest of them.
Yeah, in fact, Lana, I do want to go back to this clip because there's a couple things that they missed on here that I said. So I'm going to add this and I'm going to go.
For the people who've been saying it, chiefly the president and the vice president.
Of color, about women, and not a moment before.
What about how many times are we going to shoot at him?
Is your argument literally that you are not under threat unless somebody...
And you can hear that they tried to interrupt. When he says, how many times are they going to shoot at them? For them not to stop and go, hold on, what do you mean by they? We know who the shooters were. What are you talking about?
Right.
Directly takes a shot at you? Is that actually what you're saying? Do you have access to Secret Service files about how many threats Harris and Biden have received over the past year? How many threats Barack Obama, the first black president, received for 8 years while he was in the White House? Do you have those Secret Service files, or are you just out here talking because somebody was caught in the bushes on Saturday?
Somebody.
If you want something done, if you want to get away from this violence and hatred, the clearest thing to do is to take away the weapons that these people are using to cause the violence and hatred.
Yeah, and I in Ellie's defense, Lana, I mean, when people keep saying something just so ridiculously outrageous, and sometimes it is hard to gather your thoughts instantly, and just say, you just go to your very first instinct on what you want to say, which, by the way, is kind of why I can't stand cable news anymore, because that's a lot of what they do. It's just instinctual instead of well thought out thoughts. I'm not saying you don't have well thought out thoughts, and Ellie Mistel has very well thought out thoughts on many occasions. But sometimes when you are hit with something that you just still at this point don't expect somebody to, you can't conjure in your mind that somebody still has the balls to say something as outrageous.
He should have known that one, because that's what they've been saying. Like, that's exactly what they have been saying, the Democrats. And it's like, I would have turned on my heels and asked them, like, I can name 10 things off the top that Trump has said this week. You name 3 that Democrats have said. Because Democrats are not doing that. Don't play the game. And that's the game that the media is playing. And a lot of these people are falling in and just falling for it. It's like, stop falling, because we're taking it away from Trump and making him the victim. And he's not the victim. He's literally the perpetrator. He's the criminal. He is the felon. He is the one that is causing 8 schools to be locked down in Springfield, Ohio, and 2 medical centers.
Yeah. I said it gets frustrating. I think their line now, though, Lana, is if you ask them to say 3 things, they would say, well, they're saying he wants to be a dictator on day one. In fact, I think there was one of the clips where like that's his actual words. He actually said it.
Right. And let them say those things, because then people will scratch their heads like, excuse me?
Yeah.
That compared to General Milley should be executed. Excuse me. What?
Right.
It's like, what's the same?
Yeah, I mean, it's the gaslighting thing. Like I've said before, you're not gaslighting us. You guys think you are, but you're already gaslighting the people that are going to vote for you.